Believable to you, that's okay. You can Google me. My name's Alex Hormozi. I'm a business investor. I own acquisition.com, which is a portfolio of companies that does about $85 million a year, and I have nothing to sell you.
Alex Hormozi claims to have made millions teaching people how to get more customers, make more profit per customer, and keep them longer, and makes the outlandish claim that he's on track to become a billionaire within a few short years. Today, we'll take a deep dive into his past to find the skeletons buried in his closet, and if his fortune is just a fluke. Alex Hormozi is a serial entrepreneur who's absolutely exploded on social media in the last 6 months. Although his social media presence has only begun a short while ago, and his story is atypical of entrepreneurs, he is no entrepreneur. But to fully grasp who Alex is, you must go deep into his past and start by knowing he was raised by a single father. A man who immigrated from Iran, unable to even speak English, and with nothing but a briefcase and the clothes on his back. Because of the difficult life his father had, Alex was pushed to achieve greatness in life, and this started with academia. After high school, Alex went to Vanderbilt College, where not only he was president of his fraternity and vice president of Vanderbilt powerlifting, he graduated an entire year early with magna cum laude honors. After graduation, he immediately began working as a space, cyber, and intelligence consultant. He was making more money than any young 22-year-old could hope for, and he bought an apartment in a high-rise apartment building on the East Coast. But this was his rock top moment, where he had achieved everything typical advice would suggest. Yet, he hated life. Up until this point, he has done everything under the guise of making his father proud. However, within 2 years, he had lost his will to live, and against the will of his father, he sold everything he owned and moved across country to California. This would cause a rift between him and his father, who thought Alex was making a huge mistake, squandering the degree his father paid for, and wasting his amazing job opportunity. After being estranged from his father, and after the sale of his apartment, combined with his life savings, he had $50,000 to live on. Alex had been lifting since his young teenage years, so fitness was nothing new to him, but running a business was. He proceeded to email every major gym owner whose contact information he could find, and on his 40th attempt, one fateful owner agreed to let him work for free in exchange for teaching him the business. Within 3 months, and after spending the last of his $50,000, he opened his own gym. With no income and no money left, he was forced to sleep on the floor of his newly opened. Fortunately, the massive risk Alex had taken paid off, as he began to fall in love with business and customers began flooding into his gym. Within 9 months of opening his first gym, he was ready to open his second. Within the next 2 years, he had opened 5 gyms, a dental marketing agency, and a chiropractic marketing agency. And it was at this point he realized he had a gift at opening gyms successfully, but made the lion's share of his profit during the opening, till he started an 8th business, Gym Launch. Due to several failing partnerships, his mother getting admitted to the hospital, and the stress from running 8 businesses, he began to crack. He started self-medicating by drinking heavily, which only added to his problems until he ultimately got into a head-on collision. After speaking with the doctor said the stress is literally going to kill you. At which point, he decided he had to sell his businesses, which he did, except for Gym Launch. He decided all the money he had made from the sale of a gym would be used to fuel the growth of Gym Launch. But this was not the end of his woes. He still had one more partnership, which again would leave Alex in ruin, when the partner emptied the business accounts, which at this point was almost all the money Alex had to his name. Despite his life being in shambles, he pressed on and decided to hire another salesman for Gym Launch, who would immediately make a successful launch of $100,000 in sales. This consequently gave his girlfriend confidence, and in an attempt to reinvigorate the company, she told her 6 best friends to quit their job and join the company. Unfortunately for Alex, at this time, the credit processor had noticed the irregular activity from the returns made when he had shut down his previous gyms, and refused to relinquish the $100,000 that was recently made. This left Alex with a $22,000 commission that was owed, and only $23,000 in his personal bank account. Despite his financial ruin up to this point, he did what was right, and he paid the commission. With only $1,000 left, and roughly $3,300 per day in business expenses, Alex sat his girlfriend Layla down and told her he was a sinking ship, and would have no hard feelings if she decided she wanted to leave and left him to sink on his own. She responded she wouldn't leave even if they had to live under a bridge together. So with a credit card and a $100,000 limit, Alex and Layla threw caution to the wind and continued running Gym Launch, using his credit card to fuel the business. Within the first 2 months, the business was actually a huge success, making $200,000 in the first month.
Layla comes up to me. I'm like thinking life is good. I think we're out of everything, and she's like white, and I was like, "What's going on?" And she turned her laptop to me, and there was just scrolls of negative transactions on our account. And I was like, "What am I looking at?" She was like, "These are all refunds."
Customers began requesting refunds. See, the problem with Alex's business model was he would only fill up the gyms and leave the gym owners to fulfill on the contracts that he had sold. When those gym owners failed to fulfill the contract, customers began requesting funds from Alex.
She was like, "No, one of the gym owners that we launched got up on his chair and told everyone to refund. He just said, 'Go home, I can't deal with all this,' because we had taken his gym from 70 to 270 clients in a month."
Additionally, other gym owners would tell the customers to get a refund and simply sign up through them for half price. With payments still unprocessed, Alex now had to not only foot the bill for 3,300 expenses per day, he also had to refund the vast majority of the customers, making Alex's situation even more desperate. He decided to put the final nail in his coffin when he decided to shut down Gym Launch. And once the dust settled, Alex would end up owing $150,000 in refunds. He began to call other gyms he had scheduled to cancel. When on the first call, the owner begged Alex to come out, pleading with him that he would lose his house. But when Alex refused, the owner asked, "How much would you charge to just show me how?" Alex gave him a number so large he thought the owner would surely say no. To his surprise, the owner immediately agreed to pay $6,000 just to be shown how to do a gym launch. It was then that Alex had an epiphany, and he called the next owner and sold him the same tutorial for $8,000, then the next for $10,000, and the next for $12,000. And in a single day, with the 7 gyms that were scheduled, he made $60,000 in sales. He then proceeded to call the previous 33 gyms he had launched before, and in a single month, he made $500,000 in sales. Now, Alex was no longer liable if the contract went unfulfilled, a revelation for his business. Through all the trials and tribulations, this new method of business would catapult Alex into becoming a millionaire in just a few short months. Alex would continue running the Gym Launch for the next 6 years. During this time, he would also go on to start 2 more extremely successful companies: Prestige Labs, a supplement company, and Allen, a software CRM tool. After 6 years, he sold a majority stake in Gym Launch and Prestige Labs for $46 million, as well as Allen for an undisclosed amount. Starting the next phase of his life, in true Alex fashion, he sold everything: his businesses, his house, his car, and he began the company he is currently running. Despite originally wanting to be rich and anonymous, Alex realized the only way he could have the impact he truly wanted would be to become known. And so, with the same tenacity he has pursued everything else in his life, he has systematized and grown on social media at an unmatched pace. Alex began to share all his secrets at scale in hopes to attract business owners doing $3 to $30 million in revenue and help them make it to $100 million through investment and coaching. If this is you, visit his website. So, what's the verdict? Alex Hormozi is no fake guru. He is as real as it comes.